Prevailed and takes home the checkers here at Knoxville Raceway.
Checker flag is out for Spangler as they come across the line here.
The 217 coming off of 4. It'll be hit.
Coming there on 3 and 4. Salas gets win number 2 of the night.
Randy Shreves from 19th to victory.
The corners 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win. It's going to be Shreves getting the win.
He sees the checkered flag win. Give it to William Watson.
Alright, good evening there everyone. Welcome to another night here on Coast to Coast Racing Network. Along here with you is FFTV. I'm your host, Leakster. Here as we roll out of turn number 2. You're watching Anthony Morano here at Lernerville tonight for our race, for our championship race here tonight. Take a quick read off of the points here. We got Clay Christopherson out front with 670 points. Anthony Morano with 623. Isaac Salas with 609. Fourth place right now in points is Sam Bachman with 533. William Watson with 489. That is your top 5 in the points here tonight. And we see Morano out there on the speedway putting some time down. Roberts out there as your quick time with a 14.982. Now, always interesting here as I don't know exactly how the points are going to play out until after they figure in the drop week. Looks like Roberts is where in the points? He's 8th in the points, but fastest here tonight. Out there on track. Glad you watch Morano there. He's got a 15.007 for his time right now here in practice. Slides it on through turn 3 and 4. Harold Plump out there in front. Sorry, not in front, but here going through turn 1 and 2. Currently 5th fastest. Kozlowski he's here, just not anywhere that I can see yet. You're watching them roll through there. There's Sam Bachman into 007. Coming down through that front straight down there and through the bottom 1 and 2 there now off the backstretch. Bud Molyneux there out of the corner 4 down across the stripe. Driving that 883 here tonight. Hopefully this runs a little better tonight. It didn't run too well last night. As they, for some reason we were dropping frames like crazy. I think tonight looking a little better here on my end. As I'm watching all my lights and everything seems to be staying in sync a lot better tonight. So we should have a great time here to get the field underway. Now we just got just a few more moments here before they take on qualified. Let these drivers out here. Looks like we got 22 registered so far. Botch Trucking open 358. So why we say open is it's an open setup here tonight. Unlike the closed setup that you see here on Thursday night. Thursday night, everybody runs the same setup, same gear, same suspension, everything. The only thing different on those is the driver and sometimes that steering ratio. Other than that, here tonight, it's a wide open setup within limits, obviously, but currently we got 22, which means we should have maybe 3 heats. Everybody's going to make the show. We wait for qualifying to begin here. All right, I'm hearing a few EOLs here for tonight. Possibly Brett Kozlowski and a couple others. I think I heard Brian Dickens mentioned. Could possibly pull that up here and let you know for sure. Let's get down here somewhere. There should be a spot for me to look. There they are. Yep, Brian Dickens, Barry Wallace, and Brett Kozlowski. All getting an EOL to start tonight. William Watson out there in the 23, putting down some times as they work their through turn 3 and 4. Currently rated 60, so we'll see how that stacks up there as it comes across the line. Trying to find out who else comes through here. There you got him up there on the outside. There comes Morano off the top shelf. Down there through turn 1 and 2. Does it Brandy with a 15.287. Start us off there with a time to beat. Kurt Schatzer with a 15.354. There you see Billy Roberts trying to lay down a time in that number 99. He will get around 6th position. Hey, what all roll down there? Morano, second with a 15.302. 79 there. Reynolds dropped himself there into 6th. We got Grandy there in 2nd. Guru in a 15.249, qualifying out there on pole. We got Brennan Lacey, Clay Christopoulos, and Brian Dickens not qualified at the moment. See if they do or not. There you see Brett Kozlowski and Christopher down there on the bottom, coming there off the corner. And at 51, he'll get a 15.359 for his qualifying time. And those EOLs I mentioned, those are for the feature. Oh, here we go. Your starting grid for heat number 1. Here it is, your starting grid. Billy Roberts starting out there on pole with Kurt Schatzer there in second, driving at 218 for Hammer Down Racing. Second row on that inside lane, the 007 is Sam Bachman. Full Throttle Motorsports starting third. To his outside, Trevor Carew, also full throttle, driving at 075, starts fourth. Row number 3 on that inside lane, the number 2 of Alec Uber there in fifth. Brett Weslowski there in sixth, driving at number 25. Row number 4 on that inside lane, Michael Baccio, the 147. Brendan Lacey rolls off there, rounding out your field for heat number 1 in your top-notch trucking Open 358 Modifieds, driving at number 14. We're ready to see the dirt fly here at Lernerville. Down that front straightaway. Come on out of the pit. Championship week kicking off here tonight with the 358 mod. Then we got Open 360s, your next 2 classes here tonight. One brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports, I believe, for your Renegades. Or maybe it's the Rebels, and then we got, I gotta figure out who my sponsor is for the other one. Just Racing Boys Design for your Renegades. The Rebels for Full Throttle Motorsport, and then Renegades there for JRB Design. Down the back stretch they go here as we kick it off. Dirt flies through turn 4, way down here on that bottom. That catfish line, as some may call it, that 007 there, Sam Bachman. Trying to roll it there off corner number 2, the 218 is Jackson getting a little loose. Little extra sideways there off of 2. There's 007 there, Bachman slings it on in there, slides it up in front of Chapter. Now here comes the 75T there of Trevor Carew as he works underneath of Bachman. Can't quite get the Chapter in the back there in the 4th. And roll that through turn 3 and 4, back here onto the front straightaway. As they roll through 1 and 2, everybody's fighting for position up there at the front. Brett Weslowski back here in 5th. Brendan Lacey up 2 positions there into 6th. Alec Uber down there on that bottom with Baccio trying to just get some laps in, it looks like, here at the back. Up there at the front now, 4 laps to go here in heat number 1. Sam Bachman there second. Roberts out there in front. Now you watch them side by side there. Mid-pack off corner number 4. Brendan Lacey there in the 14. Down there on the bottom. Kurt Schatzer there in the number 218. Working down that back straightaway. Trevor Carew up there in third. And they roll here off turn number 4. 2 laps to go here in heat number 1. Billy Roberts leads the way out there in that 99. For Leadfoot Mafia as he works down in the 3. Out there in front. Sam Bachman out there in second. Trevor Carew trying to run that bottom. Can't quite get it to come in at the moment. Bachman now, he'll try the bottom side there through 1 and 2. Not enough though. Billy Roberts out here on the top shelf through 3 and 4. Just gonna make sure he don't go over that cushion as he works there off. He will get the win here in heat race number 1. Billy Roberts. All right, here we go. Results for heat number 1. Billy Roberts gets the win. Sam Bachman second. Trevor Carew there in third. Kurt Schatzer there fourth. Brendan Lacey fifth. Brett Weslowski there sixth. Alec Uber there seventh. Michael Baccio there in eighth. Starting here on the grid. For heat number 2, Randy Shreve out there in front, driving at number 56, out there on pole for LGR Motorsport. Blake was stopping in the 051. Gonna start there in second. Row number 2, that's William Watson in the number 23 with Joseph Brandy, who is outside. Row number 3 on that inside lane in the 35 is Arrow Clump. Mason Hine in the number 89 to his outside. And rounding out the field here in heat number 2 is Maverick Seidel as they come here on turn number 4. Green flag in the air. Here we go in the corner number 1. 8 laps to distance here in heat number 2 as you watch Freeze up there on the outside. Squeezing it in there is Christopherson and he slides it on there through turn 3 and 4. The 56 there of Freeze, he'll get it up front. They'll touch to the outside wall there from the 51 of Christopherson as they work there off the corner. Down that back straightaway. Brandy there battling with Clunk. Brandy now falls backwards as he is off the track. Off of turn 4 as we watch Watson there now through turn number 1 and 2. That's the fate you gotta really watch up there on that outside lane. As how close do you get to that outside cushion before you end up going over? 5 laps to go here in heat number 2. You watch the 23 of Watson down there on the bottom side, and they work off turn 2 into 3. On that bottom side comes the 23 of Watson up there on that top shelf is Randy Shreve. Still hanging on to that lead as you see the 35 Arrow Clump working his way up through the field, sitting there in second. And underneath it, Christopherson sits Watson. Watson now getting a good run there. Heading to 3 and 4. Trying to get underneath. Still, Christopherson hangs on to that third spot for the time being, coming across the line. Just getting a little bit better run off that top side than what Watson can get off the bottom. And now he ends up going to get bottlenecked there, maybe a little bit by the 35. Watson now going to pull in line there behind Christopherson and then work there off turn number 2. 2 laps to go for Randy Shreve. As they work here out of turn 4, white flag in the air for heat number 2. They roll here in the 1 and 2. Randy Shreve, your leader out there in front for heat number 2. Harold Clump there second, and Christopherson there third. Just ahead of Watson. Watson going to dive it in there. Going to try to see if he can get it to Mike. Can't quite get it to. And Randy Shreve will be the winner here in heat number 2. Harold Clump second, Christopherson there third, Watson in 4. Heat number 2 results. Oh man, this dang thing. Randy Shreve's getting that win. Harold Clump there second. Christopherson there in third. Watson comes home fourth. Mason Hine fifth. Maverick Seidel there sixth. Joseph Grandy in seventh. Here for your grid for heat number 3. That's going to be Mike Stryker out there on the pole. Bud Molyneux there in second. Dean Reynolds there starts third on the inside for Full Throttle Motorsports. Driving at number 79, Anthony Morano driving to number 32 on his outside there for FTM. There in row number 3 on that inside lane, the 8 of Scott Thompson for Rolling Thunder Sim Racing will start 5th up there in 6th. Mike Guida for On Edge Racing, hammer down to the 066. They're rounding out the field here for heat number 3 for your Top Notch Trucking Open 358. You're On Edge, hammer down. Brian Dickens driving at 122, starts in 7th. Three heats here tonight. They battle it off coming down here in turn 1. 8 laps of distance once again here for your heat race. It'll be interesting to see who comes away with the championship here tonight. Morano, fast in qualifying, has the 4th spot here in heat number 3. Got Dino there on the inside. Dean Reynolds driving at number 79. And they roll there off turn number 4. White or green flag is out there, down and away here in the corner number 1. Mike Stryker down there on the inside getting a great launch. sliding on up there in front of the 883 up Bud Molyneux. Now here comes Reynolds. As Morano sits back here looking for a hole, looks to the bottom side. Here comes Dean down here on the bottom now. Underneath Mike Stryker gets the run. He will work his way up there to the top shelf. Now Stryker gets back out underneath him. Here through turn 3 and 4, sliding it on through as they come off, almost trying to get an extra car in there. As you see the 883 now. Bud Molyneux getting underneath Stryker. Anthony Morano sitting back here in 4th straight now as they work here off turn number 4. Back across the line, 5 laps to go here in heat number 3 for Top Knot. Trucking open 358 and then work down that back straightaway. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Morano just sitting here in 4th. He works his way around that top side, seeing if things open up for him as they work down there through the front stretch, and it did open up. He's now up above the 883. Bud Molyneux working down that back straightaway here through turn 3 and 4. We saw that top line is where you want to be if you can get a run off the corner. As you see, he slingshot it there off turn number 4. Now he's going to look to see if he can get to the outside of Mike Stryker here in the next couple of laps. Dean Reynolds out there in front. He's also trying to run that higher line, especially through 3 and 4, just to keep that momentum up there and out in front. Almost looking like bottom through 1 and 2, top through 3 and 4 is almost how you want to run it. But Anthony Morano making great time on that top shelf as he gets to the outside there of Mike Stryker. He will do so here with the final lap. Here down through 1 and 2, the final lap of heat number 3. Dean Reynolds out there in front. Anthony Morano there second. Mike Stryker in third. Bud Molyneux back here now in 5th. As Lita gets around him, and Dean Reynolds gets the win here in heat number 3. And Anthony Morano there in 2nd. All right, here we go. Looking like this is warm-ups. So here is your heat race number 3 results. That is Dean Reynolds getting that win. Anthony Morano there 2nd. Mike Stryker 3rd. Mike Wheeler 4th. Bud Molyneux there 5th. Scott Thompson there in 6th. Brian Dickens there in 7th. We'll be back after a short message from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We got lots more racing coming up.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, back here at the track. Just a few moments left of warm-ups left to go. Here for the top-notch open 358 modifieds here tonight. As checkered flag waves here in the warm-ups. We watch them down there. Thank you all for tuning in here to On the Pole, whether it's from Fligger Farm TV or our main broadcast over at Coast to Coast Racing Network here tonight. As this is the Coast to Coast Monday Night Madness here from Lernerville as we're watching the top-notch trucking. Open 358 modifieds. Getting lined up here in the pits. Here we go. Your starting grid for tonight. Billy Roberts starting out there on that pole. Driving at number 099 to his outside for LGR Motorsports. Randy Shreves driving at number 56. Row number 2 on that inside lane for Full Throttle Motorsports. The 79 of Dean Reynolds to his outside Full Throttle Motorsports. 007 of Sam Buckman starts fourth. Row number 3 on that inside lane, Harold Klump driving at number 35. The 6 of Anthony Morano, also for Full Throttle Motorsports here tonight, driving at number 32. The Full Throttle Motorsports machine, the 075 of Trevor Garou. There in 7th, Clay Christopherson, the 051 starts there in 8th. Row number 5 on that inside line, the 015. Mike Stryker starts 9th. Kurt Schaxer for Hammer Down Racing rolls off there with the 218 in 10th. Row number 6 on that inside lane, William Watson, Full Throttle Motorsport, number 23, rolls off in 11th with Hammer Down Racing, Mike Wheeler there on his outside, driving at 066. 13th. Oh, that's row number 7 on that inside line. Driving at number 14 is Brandon Lacey with Mason Hine there in 14th in that number 89. Next row back, the 883 there, Bud Molyneux driving that 883. Brett Weslowski driving at number 25. Maverick Seidel there starts inside row number 9. Driving to number 26. There in 18th, it was outside Scott Thompson. Alec Hoover will start there in the number 2 in 19th position with Joseph Grandy, the 518, starting 20th. 21st going to Brian Dickens in the 122 for Hammer Down Racing. And Michael Machillo will round out your field there in the 147 in position 22. Green flag coming out here as they exit turn number 4. Randy Shreves and Billy Roberts out front as the two to lead it off. Billy Roberts makes a good run down there on that inside line. Look out, though. Here comes Dino on that inside line, making a great effort down there on that bottom. And Anthony Morano up to that top side earlier. They rocket it through turn 3 and 4. Down here through 1 and 2 now. Here we go. 29 laps to go here for the main event of the top-notch Trucking Open 358 as they roll it on through turn number 3 and 4. Up there to the high side. Which lane's it going to be that wants to prevail? Looking like it is going to be that top side. Just a little bit of hiccup there out of the 56 of Randy Shreves as he ends up getting into that outside wall. Which here at Lernerville, that's kind of funny here, getting that outside wall. Black flag there for Brett Weslowski. Brett Weslowski there in that number 19 spot. They roll it on down there. Brendan Lacey out of the race as they roll it on out through turn 3 and 4. Down there 3 wide, as you see down there on the bottom. Trevor Garou working down that back straightaway. Getting underneath of Reynolds as he works through turn 3 and 4. Reynolds up there on that outside line. Making it work. And now he's into that outside wall hard. Coming down through that front. And that is just amazing that here at Lernerville, we only really got 2 walls, but only one that really can be hit. I mean, we got the front stretch wall here, which they're bouncing off of a little bit here and there. But there is actually another wall there behind the billboards. That is the pit road wall down there off turn 3 and 4. You can kind of see it there as they work through. You can see that concrete barrier down there for turn 3 and 4. And it's looking like there might be one. There's some sort of catch fence there off turn number 1 and 2. Down there off the back stretch they go. Dean Reynolds there in 4th. as they keep battling it out here off the corner. Anthony Morano up there on that outside line there behind Christopherson. Got shuffled back a little bit. There you see the 218 of Schatzer trying to work his way up there through the field. Our biggest mover right now is Grandy in that 518 up there in the 14th as he rolls it there off the corner. Down that front straightaway. Up there looking to the top shelf. As you see the 8 there of Scott Tomlinson there in front of him. And we got him battling out there. Kurt Schatzer still trying to get around Randy Shreves. As now Randy Shreves takes a dive down there underneath of Morano. Couldn't quite get it to happen. Caution is out. Brett Weslowski going around here. Take a look at the on the pole. Instant replay here tonight. As we're on board there. I don't know why. There we go. Now we'll get a better shot of it. As you see, he's down there on the bottom. Brett Weslowski comes here in a 3 and 4 and ends up just turned around there too far and then becomes a punching bag here for others. Oh, here we go. Now as he gets it fixed back out here onto the track. Now he's trying to get lined back up again. Trevor Guru out there on the top side. Billy Roberts down there on that inside lane. Alec Uber in the pits. He tries to beat everybody out. Don't know if he's going to. Yeah, he's got one more time around here, so he will be able to get it back out here. Uber, there you see him at the exit. First caution of the night. Here at about lap 12, I believe. Weslowski back here in the back. Uber also. You got that 747 there of Michael Vecchio back here as well. Now they'll take one more time around and they got them all lined back up. Lights should be off on that pace machine. Lights are off on the track. We are going back. Green flag racing here once they come back around to the front stretch. Down that back straightaway. Billy Roberts there out front. Trevor Guru there second. Sam Bachman third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Clay Christopherson there fifth. Now they work here off turn 4. Side by side. They're down and away. Coming here off up there. As you see, Roberts. What a great jump he did down there into turn number 1. But look out. Here comes Sam Bachman. He's going to see if he can get that grip on that bottom side. Can't quite get there. He's going to pull it back in line. There behind Roberts. He's going to take another shot down there to the inside line through turn 3 and 4. See if he can get it hooked up. Can't quite get it there. They work there off turn number 4. Schatzer back here in 8. Christopherson back there in 7th. Wida and Shreves battling it out there. As you see Wida on that bottom side. Shreves on that top side. As they work there off turn number 4. Morano got shuffled back some more. He's back here in position 10 as you watch Schatzer down there on the inside trying to get around him down there on that inside. William Watson up there on that top shelf working through turn 3 and 4. 17 laps to go. Billy Roberts still up there in front, but Bachman not letting up there on the bottom. As they work there off turn number 2. Bachman really getting that thing hooked up down there on the bottom now. They work it through turn 3 and 4. That catfish line slowly working there as they come there through 1 and 2 once again. Bachman down there on that inside lane giving Roberts a run for the money as they work there through turn 3 and 4. Guru right there behind Roberts and not too far behind is Dino as they work there off the corner. Now you're watching Randy Shreves down there through turn 1 and 2. Christopherson there in 6th. Wida there in 7th. Watson falls in line there in 8th right now. 14 laps to go. Here they come out of turn number 4. 13 laps to go, and look out. Roberts making a run there on that outside line. And now Guru gets underneath him. Bachman makes it tight there on that front stretch that time as they roll there off the corner. And back down here in the corner, 1 and 2. He's still rolling that bottom, trying to get around Roberts. Roberts still hanging tough on that outside line. And now you'll see there, the 007 almost had him cleared there coming out of turn 2. As he's back down there on the bottom once again. Guru looking at that line as well as now Dean Reynolds gets up there on that top self. Working there down the back straightaway, up there on the outside. Here comes Dean Reynolds on the outside of Guru. As you watch them go side by side there off turn number 4. Everybody else pretty much single file there as they work through, with the exception there. Looks like Brian Dickens is up there on the top. Trying to see, that's 883 there. Bud Molyneux on the bottom. Trying to hang it in there. 10 laps to go here in the 358 Modifieds here tonight. Brought to you by Top Notch Trucking as they work their off turn number 2 once again. Side by side, Bachman and Roberts really putting on a show here up front as they work off of turn number 4. Down here on that inside line is Bachman. Can't seem to get that lane that he once had as he works there off of turn 2. Once again, 8 laps to go. Roberts still getting just a little bit better run off that outside. There he goes. He's going to send it in there. Down there off turn number 4. Now Roberts going to try to send it in as we got Bachman now going to hang out there down there once again on the bottom side. Laps winding down. 7 laps to go. Here comes Bachman again, sliding it underneath. Going to get it up there on the top shelf. Roberts got to pull it down. Can't quite get back underneath him. There's they now battle through 1 and 2. Bachman doing a great job holding them down through 1 and 2 as now they work here through turn 3 and 4 side by side. Little bump there from Roberts as Bachman is up there on the top side working there off turn number 4. Roberts falls back in line there in the second as Guru now is there third. Sets his sights on Roberts as Bachman great racing out front. Gets himself out there to the lead. Now you'll watch him work there off of the bottom. Christopherson there 5th, Watson there 6th, Morano there in 7th, Randy Shreves there 8th, Kurt Schatzer 9th as they work there off of turn number 2. Bachman still leads the way here with 4 laps to go. Guru tries to get underneath of Roberts, can't quite get there that lap. 3 laps to go now as they head here into turn number 1 and 2. Dean Reynolds trying to see if he can get to that top spot. I'm sorry folks, I thought I had the noise on here. Dean Reynolds there in 4th, Christopherson there in 5th. Watson there 6th, Morano there 7th. Randy Shreves there 8th, Kurt Schatzer there in 9th, Harold Plump 10th as they're working on here. Off turn number 2, off here through 3 and 4. Bachman's going to come around here off of 4. White flag in the air. Here we go. Final lap here at Lernerville for your Top Notch Trucking 358 Modified. As they work there on the bottom, Billy Roberts up there on that outside. Guru there in 3rd. As they head in through 3 and 4, Bachman's going to swing it on in there, slide it on up. Bachman will be your victory winner here at Lernerville tonight. As they head it off there in through 1 and 2. Roberts there gets 2nd. Guru gets 3rd over top of Dean Reynolds. Watson gets 5th. Now here is your finish results here tonight. You got Sam Bachman getting that win here at Lernerville. Billy Roberts there in 2nd. Guru there 3rd. Dean Reynolds 4th. Watson there in 5th. Baker stops in there 6th. Anthony Morano there in 7th. Randy Shreves there 8th. Kurt Schatzer there 9th. Harold Plump there in 10th. Brian Dickens there in 11th. Mason Hine there in 12th. Joseph Grandy the 13th. Brett Weslowski finishes 14th tonight. Mike Wheeler there 15th. Bud Molyneux there in 16th. Alec Cooper there in 17th. 18th, it's going to go there to Scott Thompson. Michael Vecchio there in 19th. Maverick Seidel, 20th. Mike Stryker there in 21st. And Brennan Lacey, not taking a grid, will finish there in 22nd. All right, here we go. Off of the corner they go. Let's see here what we got for our interviews, if we can get to them here. Make sure I'm in the right spot. All right, now we'll get with Trevor Guru, 3rd place. Good evening there, Trevor. How's it going?
Good, you?
It's going well, going a lot better tonight than what it did last night. I was dropping frames like crazy last night.
Ain't good.
No, I mean, every 2 minutes it was like 80 to 100% frame drop, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So, but we're doing much better tonight. The show looks great. Man, oh man, what a race out there tonight.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was pretty racy track. Top was pretty good. Bottom was pretty good. You know, made some moves on the bottom early on, and definitely had a good piece tonight.
Well, you definitely put on a show there for us here tonight at Lernerville. I mean, I think that your top drivers up there at the front really put on quite the show. I mean, between Bachman, Roberts, you, Reynolds, Watson, Christopherson, I think showed face up there a little bit.
Yeah, man, it was like I said, it was a pretty racy track, man. You could kind of go all over the place, and you know, I don't know about the middle, but I know top was pretty consistent, and the bottom was really good too. So just a good racy track tonight. It was fun.
Well, and I know normally I'm here for the fixed setups on Thursday night. What kind of difference does letting the drivers set them cars up make?
Huge difference, very big difference, especially at a track like this. You know, you put a lot of gear into it, and all of a sudden the bottom comes alive, right? You're just I geared my car tonight knowing that the bottom was gonna be there, but also that the top would maybe come in, to the point where I'm not, you know, bogging on exit of the corner. I'm keeping that momentum up, but I'm also not hitting the chip when I'm running the top. In a stock setup, stock iRacing setup, you lose so much momentum when you're running the bottom here, or anywhere else for that matter, especially in these cars. So allowing us to have that ability to even just a gear change, especially at a track like this where you can put a lot of gear into it and have that momentum coming off the corner on the bottom, gives you a racing track like we saw tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely was a great racing track. And, you know, Lernerville does put on some good races here. And, man, you did a great job there tonight. You got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting third place?
Yeah, just want to shout out my teammate Sam there on the win. Very good race. Watching him and Billy go out. Shout out to Billy on a good run too. All the guys at FTM. I mean, it was a really good showing for us. Dean, Bart, Clay, Tony, we're all up there. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Speedy Fast Designs for the wrap. RSM Trackside. Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series. Expert Installation. Swan Speed Shop. Sam McConnell Sets. You, Fleer, for doing the broadcast for us tonight, and everybody at Coast to Coast.
Alrighty, great job there getting that third place. And you racing more tonight?
No, I'm going to go watch the hockey game.
Alrighty, well, go have fun. Great job tonight here in the 358.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was Sam Bachman, your third place. Now we'll get with Billy Roberts here. Good evening there, Billy. How's it going?
Good, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing very well, man. You put that Gears Unlimited machine up there in the second place. I know you were battling there with Bachman for quite a while to try to hold on to that lead. Just unfortunately, it seemed like he was able to edge out just a little bit there at the end.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He got a better line, and he was fast, and he did a great job.
Well, I'd say you all were fast up there at the front.
Yeah, the track was great. I'm glad to see two lanes of racing, and yeah, it was a blast between me and Sam and Trevor there.
Yeah, I know when we were talking to Guru there just a moment ago, we were talking about how Lernerville became a racy track tonight. He thinks partially that is because of you guys being able to change the gear ratios a little bit here in the, open setups, unlike you can on Thursday nights where it's a fixed setup. You're a fixed gear, fixed suspension, all that. So he thinks that played a role in it. Definitely looked like the track came in quite well here tonight. Hold moisture where it needed to let you guys put on a great racing show.
Oh, it did. It did. It was, and I agree with Trevor. It makes a big difference when you can adjust on the car and change the gear ratio to get what you need to do.
Well, you definitely let it hang out there. You look great up there along the top side. You got sponsors. Shout out to anybody you want to thank for getting that second place podium here tonight in the 358.
All my teammates at Leadfoot Mafia, Michael, Jake, Randy, Junior, Terry. Of course, you guys for broadcasting it, coast to coast, giving us a place to go, and you, Adam, for putting it on.
Great job again. And are you racing any more tonight there, Billy?
Nope, I'm done.
Alrighty. Well, you have yourself a great night. Congrats there, getting that second place. And we're going to have to see how the points play out. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to stack up when they figure in all the drop week stuff.
Well, thank you.
So, great job again tonight, Billy, and have yourself a great night. And enjoy the off week next week for the off season.
All right, thank you.
All right, I have Billy Roberts, your second place finisher. Now we'll get with Sam Bachman. Good evening there, Sam. How's it going?
Going pretty good. You?
It's going well, man. You seem to have that thing hooked up on the bottom just a little bit better than your other competitors out there.
Oh, yeah, it seemed like 1 and 2 was pretty strong on the bottom. 3 and 4 just seemed kind of equal. You lose a little bit on exit, obviously, because the car was so much down when you're running the bottom down there in 3 and 4. But other than that, it felt pretty good, and I was actually kind of surprised. I didn't think the bottom was going to be that good the whole race, so I just kind of stuck to it. And after I got by Billy, started hitting the top at 3 and 4, and then hitting the bottom of 1 and 2, and it felt pretty good.
You put that full throttle motorsports machine up there into victory lane tonight here at Lernerville, so you should feel pretty good about that tonight.
Oh yeah, it feels pretty good. Obviously, when one is such a great field out here. I mean, when you got Billy and Trevor and a lot of other guys, including like some of the FTM guys or whatever, it's a pretty hard field to win. So it always feels good when you can finish up front.
Oh, most definitely. Most of the time, I just hope that I stay competitive. That's my goal. But you did a great job there again. Thank you for coming out. You guys put on such a great show up front. I mean, definitely raced hard there with Billy Roberts for that front spot.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty good race up there. We were side by side, probably like 15 laps. But we did touch a couple times, but that's all right. That's just racing, and had a lot of fun, so I can't complain.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Sam. And you got sponsors, shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting that victory?
The boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard on the dig. Dean over at Super Dark Car Series, X for Installation. Vertex Graphics, Shaggy TV, and that's it. Can't remember them all, I guess. And obviously you, Fleeger, for doing the broadcast tonight, and Coast to Coast.
Yeah, hopefully Shaggy's feeling okay after today, and we'll wish him well, and hopefully he'll be back for Thursday night.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, are you coming out racing any 360s tonight, Sam, or are you done for tonight?
I'm probably done for the night. I ain't a sprint car guy, to be honest, too much.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Sam. Great job getting that 358 into victory lane, and we'll be talking to you later.
Thank you, Fleer.
All right, that was Sam Bachman, your winner here in the 358. Great job there tonight, bringing the victory home for Full Throttle Motorsports in the 358 top-notch trucking modified series here tonight. As we see them round out here. Great job. Don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up as we get set for your Full Throttle Motorsports Rebel 360 wing sprint cars. So don't go anywhere. We got lots more racing coming up.
1, 2, 3. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue has been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
All right, we're back here from Lernerville. We got the Rebels now coming up to play here from FTM, your Full Throttle Motorsports sponsoring these Rebel 360 wing sprint cars. And after this, it'll be the JRB Renegades. They went through it a couple laps in here before we'll switch it over to qualifying. They watch that top side really come in here for the sprints. Unless they can get that car set up down there on that bottom side. Going to need a little bit of higher gear than what you would on that top side. And the top side, you want to try to ring it out there, but if you're on that bottom, you get too high of a gear, you're going to end up logging it down through the corners, and that's kind of what they were talking about there in the 358. Whenever you were listening to us talk about the top-notch truck and 358 division, there with them being an open setup here. that gear change can mean a lot. As on Thursday night, and I can speak kind of on my experience of this as I run those two, it is hard to keep that momentum up because you're bogging that engine down there whenever you try to dive it into the bottom side. So you want to try to keep that engine up, the RPMs up, that momentum going forward. And that the best way to do that here around Lernerville is around that top side. But I will say, if you can get that bite to come in on that bottom corner, on that bottom side of 3 and 4, if you can get it to work right, you can win races with a lower power gear in that. Because I did it one time. I did the 305s. That's probably one of my most proud wins that I have under my belt. Was my first win here at Lernerville, came in the 305 sprints on the official side, and I got it off a slider coming off a turn 4. Might have got into the guy a little bit on the outside of me, but man, it was for the wind coming off of turn 4. And hard-fought race, hard-fought battle, and with a great time. I had to watch come here off the corner. We got the 078 there, Jack Clevenger coming out onto the track. Driving that 078. Your times right now that these drivers are putting down as that white flag or checker flag comes out here for your warm-up. Or for your practice, rather. 12.363 for Klimalik the third. And Klimalik Jr. there in the second. Those are your top 2 fastest here tonight. In practice, we'll see if that'll stack up that way through qualifying. It looks like we'll have 1 heat. We got maybe about 10 drivers out there, if I'm counting right. Maybe 9. Maybe 9 drivers. We'll see where that stacks up. We got Jesse Bandy out there on track. There's Klimalik the third. And he rolls there off the top in the rolls through 3. Oh no! Spinning around like a top down there on the inside. He's going to have to tow that back to the pits and try again. Mason Hine putting down a great time there off a turn 1 and 2. Isaac Bowman lays down a 12.816. Here they roll off the corner. Up there on that outside lane. Mason Hine with a 12.686. Bowman there trying to get it to come back as you watch Hine way up there on that top shelf. Hine with a 12.686 for his time. Isaac Bowman, he'll have a 12.736. Clevenger coming around off turn number 4 up there on that top side. That's going to be for Clevenger a 12.795. Klimalik the third puts down a 12.719. That'll be his time. Klimalik Jr. sits 5th with a 12.872. 9 drivers signed up here tonight for your 360 Rebel class. Stephen Bixler is there in 9th. Getting ready here for the start of the Rebels. 360 Wing Sprint Card brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. You can see our sponsor logos scrolling there through the top of your screen here tonight. We get here ready for heat number 1, your only heat for these here tonight. There's your 9 drivers. Jack Clevenger starts there on pole, and at 078, Isaac Bowman will roll up into number 9 here in that second spot on that outside. Row number 2 on that inside. Klimalik the third, driving to 69, starts there in 3rd. The 4th place on that outside of row number 2 going to Mason Hine, driving the 89 for GSG RFX Motorsports. Row number 3 on that inside line for Bloodline Sim Sports, the 034 of Klimalik Jr. starts 5th. And for Rolling Thunder Sim Racing, the 8 of Scott Thomason, driving there in 6th position. Row number 4 on that inside line, Alec Uber in 2, rolls off in 7th. Jesse Bandy there in 8th, driving to number 49. And rounding out through field here tonight, Steven Bixler in the 75. Now let's see, do we got any EOLs that could happen for the feature? Yes, we do. McLaren and Clemaux the third. So Clemaux the third there, he's starting third in this race, is going to end up with a EOL there as the start of the feature. They roll it there off the corner. There you watch everybody getting it lined up side by side. Down there off turn number 3. How many laps of this here in the heat? 8 laps. The distance in the heat race. Your leaders in the points, Jack Clevenger with 693, Scott Thompson with 625, Clemaux the third with 618, Clemaux Jr. with 609, and Jesse Brandy rounds out your top 5 with 603. So tight points race here in the 360 Rebel division as they work here off turn number 4. Pace cars on pit road. Here we go. Off of 4, green flags in the air. Dirt's now flying through turn 1 and 2 as they head out here onto the backstretch of 78. There, Jack Clevenger gets out front, up there in front of Isaac Bowman as they work there now off of turn number 4. Trying to get that outside lane to come in here. Mason Hine following there into 3rd now as he gets up in position from where he started. Scott Thomason up in the 4th. Clemaux the 3rd. Falls back there in the 5th. Steven Bixler back there in 6th. Alec Uber there in 7th with Jesse Bandy back there in 8th. Junior in the pits. Early in this one as they work there off the corner of the 78. Getting a little loose there on that outside lane. That Bowman's up there on that outside. Up there now, and look how tight they are as Clevenger now comes back in there. Joseph Broom, he made it here under the wire. He'll be making it into the feature here. And we're working through the heat races down through the back stretch. The 78 up Clevenger works underneath as they now work down through the front stretch. Here as they are side by side. Bowman now back out there trying to get that front. Here comes Clevenger back around once again on that outside. Mason Hines sitting 3rd as he works through the middle there off of turn number 4. The 8 of Scott Thompson. Clemaux the 3rd up there on that top side as well. Try to make sure. No, Clemaux the 3rd goes up over the top shelf. Alec Uber working there off. 2 lap, now final lap here for Jack Clevenger, Isaac Bowman, Mason Hine, your top 3 here in the heat race. As they working on up there, down there off 3 and 4. Up across the stripe, here they go. Clevenger, Bowman, and Hine, your top 3 in the heat race here for your Rebel 360 Wing Sprint division. So your Heat 1 results look like this. Mason Hine getting that win. Scott Thomason there in... Wait a moment, what the heck? Oh, that's because this is... There we go, now we got them all. Jack Clevenger out there in front, getting that win. Isaac Bowman 2nd, Mason Hine 3rd. Scott Thomason there for it. Steven Bixler 5th. Jesse Bandy there in 6th. Alec Uber there in 7th. John Clemaux the 3rd there in 8th. John Clemaux Jr. there in 9th. And Joseph Groom pulling it into the pits there as that heat was going on. So hopefully he can go and get out here and do the main event, which looks like he's going to be able to. We'll be back after this short message from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. The main event of the Rebel 360 Wing Sprint cars from Full Throttle Motorsports coming up right after this.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
Sorry, folks. Here, get ready for the main event. Didn't realize we were back from commercial break here. As we get set to roll, here is your starting grid for your main event of the 360 wing sprint cars from FTM. Here we go. Jack Clevenger out there getting that pole. Driving at number 078, Isaac Bowman in the number 9. Starts on his outside. Row number 2 on the inside. GSG, RFX, Motorsports, Mason Hine. They're on that inside. Scott Thomason. They're driving at number 8 for Rolling Thunder Sim Racing. Starts fourth. Row number 3, that inside line going to the 75 of Steven Bixler, starting there in 5th. 6th spot to his outside, Jesse Bandy there in the number 49. Alec Uber there in the number 2. Rolls off in 7th inside row number 4 with John Clemalik the 3rd. There on the outside in at number 69. Row number 5, John Clemalik Jr. with the 034 starts there in 9th for Bloodline Racing Sim Sports. And Joseph Groom there in 10th, making a show here tonight. Maybe not. We don't see him there in the... no, that's Alec Uber. Sorry, Alec Uber did not take the grid. Now you watch him come there off of the corner. These drivers setting to go for the main event up here on that outside line at number 9B of Isaac Bowman. Jack Clevenger there on that inside, starting there on pole. Isaac Bowman. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack Clevenger, yeah, in the 078. There, starting on pole. You got the 9B of Isaac Bowman starting in second up there on that outside. As they whirl around here, pace car pulls off. They're going to get ready to go. Here coming out of turn number 4. They're side by side now off the corner. Here we go. Look out. Down across here in the corner number 1. 10 drivers. Who's it gonna be here getting the win in the 360 Rebel Division here tonight? As you watch down here through turn 3 and 4. Down there on the bottom side. You watch there, the 8 ends up getting into the 9. And the 9B ends up into that outside wall a little bit. And they stack up through turn 1 and 2 a little bit. Getting it back underway there. You watch the 110 of Joseph Groom working there on the top shelf now off turn number 2. I'm sorry, off turn number 4 down here through 1 and 2. Jack Clevenger out front, Mason Hine there in second, Scott Thomason in third with Jess Bandy there in 4th. Steven Bixler back here to 5th. Bowman falls back into 6th there. They up there on that outside lane, that 9B started on the outside pole. Ended up making some contact there with the outside wall. 89, Mason Hine struggling there through 3 and 4, trying to get it back underway here. As they roll down the back straightaway, Uber is out, did not start the main event. As you're watching them roll there off turn number 4, down through 1 and 2. Clevenger out front, Thomason there in 3rd. Bandy there for Steven Bixler there 5th. Isaac Bowman in 6th, Joseph Groom here in 7th. Clemalik Jr. back here in 8th, and Clemalik the 3rd back here in 9th. Both of them are Bloodline Racing, or I'm sorry, Bloodline Sim Sports. They're rolling on through off turn number 4. Down there through 1 and 2. Jack Clevenger out front, Mason Hine there in St. Thomason there in 3rd. Now you watch the 8 of Thomason trying to hold off the 49 of Bandy. Bandy ends up getting a little extra sideways. That opens the door there for Bowman to get to his outside, and he will up there on that top shelf once again. Getting that 9B hooked back up there on that top shelf. Trying to get that momentum back. You get him back up there towards the front. Now you see him sling that dirt around 1 and 2, down there through 3 and 4. And looking underneath, there he gets around Scott Thomason. Thomason now, and oh no, we got the 110. Joseph Groom around down there on the bottom, and that'll bring out the caution flag for caution flag number 1 here in the 360 Rebel Division. Steven Bixler and Joseph Groom getting together. On a pole instant replay here tonight. Got to make sure I get this fixed so that we don't keep doing that. There we go. Off of corner number 2 they go. And it's coming out of turn 4 is where this is going to happen. And you watch them down there through off of the corner. You watch that 11 slide on up. Well, no, I'm sorry. There's the 75 getting a little sideways. There's the one we wanted to watch. Joseph Broom, and he worked his return 4 this time, and just slides it on there and catches and ends up getting there into the 69 from Alex the third. Now they work there off the corner. Tough break there for Joseph Broom. Everybody's now lined back up side by side. Trying to see when those lights go out. They work there off the corner down there. Now looks like one more time around here. See if I can catch that lights this time. Looks like lights are out. Most definitely. There's, I see the pace car now. Down there off turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Mason Hine out there in front. Up there on that top side. Clevenger on that inside lane as your control car. They work here off turn number 4. Green flag out there down and away. Great start there from Clevenger on that inside lane to get out there and get up to the top side. Once again as Mason Hine is there in 3rd as Scott Thomason. Great start by him as he gets it down there on that inside lane. Rolling there off turn 4. Bowman now up there in the 4th once again. Bandy there in 5th from Alex Jr. There in 6th. Bixler back here in 7th. Groom in 8th. From Alex the 3rd back here in 9th. As you watch him roll there off, you see the 89 of Mason Hine. 17 laps to go here at Lernerville for the Rebel 360 Sprint Car brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Hopefully you're enjoying the show tonight as our sponsors tonight, Top Knot Trucking, who brought you the 358 beforehand. Then we got Full Throttle Motorsports here for your 360 Rebels. And then JRB Designs bringing you your Renegades shortly after we finish the main event here of the Rebels. 15 laps to go here at Lernerville. Clevenger up there on the outside lane. Mason Hine there in 2nd. Isaac Bowman there 3rd. Bandy now gets around Thomason as he slides on up there. Thomason dives it on down there. And look out, Broom once again getting a little too sideways there through the corner. He gets it, keeps it straight down there off now through turn 1 and 2. Down that back straightaway. Keep an eye on him here through turn 3 and 4. And he's trying to keep that thing hooked up. But as it's struggling, trying to make sure he keeps that power down without getting it too sideways and stripping himself some speed. And they work on down here. Out turn number 4. You're watching Bandy there in 3rd. Clem Alex Jr. doing a great job getting up there into that 3rd spot if he can. Chasing down the 49 of Bandy. Mason Hine hanging on the 2nd right now. Shaggy TV sponsored on the hood of that machine. Or on the front wing rather. As you watch him roll there off of the corner. Clevenger out there in front. Andy back here 3rd from Alex Jr. Doing a great job there. Hanging on the 4th right there behind him. Down off the corner they go. Mason Hine out there in 2nd. Now you watch him up there on that top shelf. Mason Hine on the top. Clevenger there in the front. Bandy there 3rd. From Alex Jr. Caution back out this time. We got a stack up there. Looks like Bixler may have been involved, along with Scott Thomason. We will see here. I watch him come there through turn 1 and 2. There you see the 8. Steven Bixler slides it on up the racetrack. Coming down there in the 3 and 4. And gets, oh no! Not sure what happened there as Thomason ends up off the top side. Bixler comes around there. And we'll see what happens to him as he slides on through. And it looks like, oh boy. Down there off through turn 1 and 2. Not sure exactly what happened to Bixler. See if we can see here. Taking another look here at the on the full instant replay tonight. We're trying to see what happened to Bixler. We saw Groom ends up off the top shelf. And oh no, late collector. That's what happened to Groom. And there's what brought out the caution. Bixler's down there. And you gotta love the iRacing self-fixing wings. And we wind it here. You'll watch that wing disappear here a moment. There it is. The wing's gone. I will slow it down. Watch this. It'll just magically reappear. Always interesting there. Whenever you see iRacing do stunts like that. We are back under caution, as we said. Clevenger out there as your race leader. Mason Hind there in second. Bandy there in third. This is going to get interesting out there. Green flag back out there down the front straightaway. Clevenger, great start there. 8 laps to go. Bandy there in third. Mason Hind there in second. Junior there in fourth. As he looks to the inside, he'll get around Mason Hind at the moment. Gets around Bandy at the moment. Can't quite make it happen. And oh no, they get together there with the 11 of Groom. Groom struggling all over the place here tonight. And we see Bowman underneath him there. Looks not enough. Down there on the bottom side, Mason Hind up there in second. Red Bandy there in third. Junior falls back, losing some momentum as they work there through turn 3 and 4. And oh boy, look at that machine trying to skate around here. And I thought I saw that wheel. Yeah, that wheel is just not playing nice for Mason Hind. He's got problems on the front end of that machine. Going to try to make it 5 laps more if he can. No meatball for him, but you can see that front wheel just hanging on out there just a little bit. Well, maybe he fixed himself there. We'll see as he comes out here into 3 and 4. But that left front wheel definitely was hanging there oddly there for a couple of laps. And now it's back up there on that top side. And he works there off. Andy now up there in the second. You see Mason Hind working at bottom. Another part just mysteriously fixed itself there on the 89, and we saw the wing do so there on one of the other cars. I believe that was possibly... Yeah, I'm thinking that was Bixler's number 75, but he is out right now. There's the 9B of Bowman up there in the third. Bandy in the second. And we got Clevenger out there in front. Getting that win here at Lernerville tonight. Off that back straight away. Great job for Jack Clevenger. Your victory winner here at Lernerville tonight as he'll pull it there onto the victory lane podium here for Lernerville. Best Bandy there in second. And Bowman in third. From what I can tell. Great job by these drivers. We'll go ahead and get with your winners here in just a moment. Getting with Isaac Bowman here first, your third place finisher, if possible. Now we wait on to see if we got any drivers coming up here for interviews. Here is your feature results. Now we see Jack Clevenger getting that win. Jesse Bandy there in second. Isaac Bowman getting third. Mason Hind there fourth. Clem Alex Jr. gets fifth. Joseph Groom there in sixth. Clem Alex the third gets seventh. Stephen Bixler there eighth. Scott Thomason there in ninth. Alec Uber there in 10th. All right, so we have Jack Clevenger, your winner here. Well, there we go. Now we got Isaac Bowman. That's who I was looking for. We'll get with Isaac Bowman first. Good evening there, Bowman. How's it going? You're muted at the moment there, Bowman. I don't know if you can hear me or not. You there, Bowman?
Can you hear me?
There, we got you. Man, you guys look like you had a lot of issues out there with that number 9B tonight, but you brought it back up there in the third despite the problems.
Yeah. Just been trying to get back to racing. Haven't really gotten able to a lot this season. Just try and get back and have good, clean runs.
Well, I mean, you had a decent run. I don't know if you want to call that one clean, but I mean, you at least kept the car together enough to come back up there through the field. And I think you had to do it a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was running pretty good, high line, a little bit higher than everyone else, and then kind of kicked myself, got over, then had to come back from the tail and work my way up.
Well, that's such a fine line here at Lernerville, running that top side. You jump that cushion, there's nothing there to catch you.
No, you're fast. It'll really build up the momentum up there till you get just a hair over, then it really bites you. But had to just flat-foot it and just hope for the best, and got my way back up there.
Really put a lot of trust in that setup, right?
Yeah, having a blast with the setup, feel comfortable, and ready to race for the next one.
Well, you got sponsors, shout. Anybody you want to thank for getting third place here tonight?
Just anybody that helps with just practicing, getting comfortable, and coast to coast, always putting this on every week. It's a lot of work, and just you broadcasting, just can't thank you enough.
Well, normally it's Shaggy TV here on Monday nights, but unfortunately he couldn't be here, so I'm filling in for him tonight for the championship night. So, but great job there tonight, Isaac. And you are you in the other division as well, or is this the only 360 division you're in?
I'll run the next one too.
Okay, well, good luck, and we'll hopefully we'll see if you can get a little bit better finish out there or not. We'll see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, good luck there, Isaac. We'll see you on track.
All right, bye.
All right, that's Isaac Bowman, your third place finisher. Now we'll get with Bandy. Good evening there, Jesse. How's it going?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well tonight, and man, you got that thing hooked up there to get yourself into second position. You started sixth, so you must be feeling pretty good to come up 4 spots from where you started.
Yeah, that feels good, but I didn't feel good at all in the car, to be honest with you. I don't know. It just felt like it was on ice. It felt giddy. It just, I don't know. I wasn't too sure of the car or myself. I really held on, and for an opportunity to get second place there by a mistake on Mason's part there, yeah, just capitalized is all that was.
Well, sometimes they say it's better to be lucky than good.
Well, that's definitely the case here. I definitely got lucky, that's for sure.
I mean, you definitely had a great car out there from the standpoint of the broadcast. I mean, I can't really say too much about how the inside felt, but, behind the driver's seat, but it definitely looked okay.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, that the car just didn't feel like it was in the track much. It felt like it was up on top, kind of skating all over the place, so trying to do everything I can to keep the back end behind me.
Yeah, sometimes that back end wants to try to be the front end.
Absolutely.
That's never a good day whenever it does that, though.
No, sir. It usually ends up pretty bad.
All right. Well, Bandy, you have any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting second place here tonight in the 360 Rebels?
Yeah, everybody at Phantom Motorsports, Velocity Race Designs, Bio.com, Dirt Doctor Trucking, you for the broadcast, and C2C for the league. Appreciate it.
All right, a great job, and we'll see how it goes here as the night goes on. I don't know if you're in the Renegades or not, but if you are, good luck.
Yeah, I believe this will get me in. Thank you, sir.
All righty.
Take care.
You too. All right, that's Jesse Bandy there getting second place. Now we're with Jack Clevenger. Good evening there, Jack. How's it going?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm going well, man. Definitely had to race the wheels off that thing tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I wasn't real comfortable the whole race, but I just kept being as patient as I could, and I had to slow myself down there at the end and just be patient and
Whoa.
kind of, be careful on top.
We kind of heard that from a few drivers that they just weren't real confident with that setup they might have had in tonight. There could have been a couple more tweaks they could have done to make the car feel a little better.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, I don't know what I felt like I was tight and having to drive a little harder to get it to rotate, but then drive too hard and over-rotate, so it's just kind of a strange feeling.
Well, I know we heard a couple of them say that it was almost like driving on ice for them, so I mean, with this open setup, it's just hard to say exactly how you have that car set up for the driver.
Yeah, I mean, I hopped on the game. I hopped on iRacing about, I don't know, 4:30 my time. So right when the room opens, I don't practice or anything. I usually run 1 or 2 races Monday night. So I got it set up from 2024. I loaded in and kind of made a few tweaks on that. But who knows how different that is from the build now.
Oh, I'm sure it's quite a bit different from the build now. I mean, you're talking almost 2 years old now.
Yeah, got the job done. Like I said, it wasn't the most comfortable, but got the job done, and I think that wraps up a championship. So I'll take it.
Well, we'll see what it does. I mean, I'd never know how the champion's going to play out with the drop weeks and things, but you definitely have a good contention for it for sure.
Absolutely, feels good to have a good year. I haven't raced with these guys for, I don't know, I took 1 or 2 seasons off and decided to get back into it, so it was fun to get back into it.
Well, most definitely, and I mean, with what I'm looking at, you should have it pretty wrapped up, but like I said, it just depends on how them drop weeks play out, as we all know that they can make things a lot tighter.
Absolutely.
So, you got sponsor shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that victory here in the Rebels tonight?
Just thank you for the broadcast and Coast to Coast for the place to race. I know they put a lot of time into this, and I do appreciate it when I have time to get on and race with them.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Jack. And are we going to see you any more tonight, or are you done?
I'm contemplating running the Renegades. We'll see. I'll make a decision here in a few minutes. And see what
Alrighty,
happens.
well, if you do, good luck. If not, you have yourself a great night.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right, that was Jack Clevenger, your winner here in the Full Throttle Motorsports Renegade Division of the 360 Sprint Cars here at Lernerville. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back here with your 360 Wing Sprints, the Renegades, brought to you by JRB Design. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back here at Lernerville with more racing coming up after this.
1, 2, 3. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
Our love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home. I'm making my way.
years of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue has been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
All right, back here from Lernerville, we got the Renegades. Brought to you by Just Racing Boys Designs. As you watch them, they're coming out there, getting some practice laps in there. You see Atkinson out there on track, driving at number 127. Trying to see if we got any others coming out there on track. Yo9 and Ted York, he's slowly coming out here for SSR North. Down here in the turn number 1 and 2, up there through kind of that top middle line. Qualifying going to start here shortly as Atkinson, not sure where he went, he's in the pits. You see Ted York here getting a couple laps around here. Bowman hit and Bandy not taking a lap yet. Practice comes to an end as we get ready for qualifying. Here we go. Who's going to be first on track? Here we go. Jeff Barker out there getting that. All right, Ted York, first one out here on track. See how he does out of Camden, New York. There he rolls through 1 and 2. Getting up there to the top side. That's going to be where the speed's at, up there against that top. As you watched there in the previous race, as they work down through there. Ted York rolls through turn 1 and 2, trying to see where he is on his time as they work here off turn number 4. Now he's got a green and yellow. He'll have a 13.095. Gavin with a 12.851 out there as he rolls down there through. Driving at number 99. Oh no! His second lap ends him down there into the pit wall. John Glamalix Jr. down there on the bottom. Atkinson there in the 127. Sitting there in fifth. There we got Dean Reynolds out there driving at number 79. Got a 13.089. Jack Hitt. He's got a 13.618. Brennan Lacey showing a DQ flag. Not sure why that might be. Lacey might not have been supposed to be in this race. There you see Glamalix there on the pit road. Qualifying comes to an end. Here is your Heat 1 grid. Chad Cote there in the 11 machine, starting out there on pole. Bob the Good there in second. They're working on out there. Oh, come on now, come on. You do what I want you to, you dang. Okay, there we go. Clemaux Jr. there in the 034 starts third. Gavin Chatham starts fourth and at 99. Row number 3 on that inside lane, the 49. Jesse Bandy with Anthony Morano there in the 32. They're in 6th position. Anthony Morano will have a feature EOL for the feature tonight. Brendan Lacey in the 14th. They're in 7th, but as we said, DQ'd, I believe. Oh no, they're going to let them race. Just did not allow them to do qualifying. That's interesting. There, watch Bandy come there out of the corner. There we go. Everybody's trying to get caught up there. Now they're side by side. Here we go. 8 laps the distance here for your JRB Designs Renegade 360 Sprint. And they work there off turn number 4 one more time around. And they'll take the green flag. Chad out there in front. Bob the Good there in second. Chatham there third. Clemaux Jr. in fourth. I would rather say, I believe Chatham is fourth. Clemaux Jr.'s third, if I'm looking at it right. Yeah. Clemaux Jr.'s there third down there on the inside. The Goose out there on that front line. Down there through turn 1 and 2. Side by side, and they roll it off the corner in the 2. Down that back straightaway, Chad Cody there out front. As they work there off the top shelf, Bob the Good. Gavin Chatham there in third, Jesse Bandy there fourth. Working on down there out of the corner goes Chad. Bob the Good up there in second, Jesse Bandy there third. Chatham fourth. Clemaux ends up in the pits. Brendan Lacey out there to lap down somehow. They work down there off the corner. Jesse Bandy there second. Gavin Chatham there third. Bob the Good there in fourth. As they work down there, 5 laps to go here in heat number 1 for your Just Racing Boy Renegade. Bringing it on through out of turn number 4. Down that front straightaway, Bandy there in second. Gavin Chatham there in second. Working there now off turn 2. Chatham looking to see if he can get a 99 up another spot. As he battles there with the 49 up Bandy. Bandy trying to get up there, find that groove to get working himself up there in the first. Can't quite find it as it looks like Chatham's going to work on him here down the back straightaway. In through 3 and 4. Working a little higher there through 3 and 4 for Chatham as he works there up to the bumper of Bandy. Bandy working low there through 1 and 2. Going to open the door up there to the high side eventually for Chatham. Chatham's not really taking the line there as Chad comes here out of turn number 4, white flag in the air. Now Chatham looks to see if he can close that gap down there through off turn number 2. Chad out there in front. Randy there in second. And they come across the line. Chad will get the victory here in heat number 1. Gavin Chatham there in third. Bob the Good there in fourth. As you see, others are on pit lane. Great race there from Chad Cody as he's out there getting that win. All right, heat number 1 in the books. We'll see if we can get the results up here. Waiting on it here. There we go. Your heat 1 results. Chad Cody there in first. Jesse Bandy there second. Gavin Chatham finished third. Bob the Good there fourth. Brandon Lacey finishes fifth. Chuck Clemaux Jr. there in sixth. Andy Morano there in seventh. That'll round out your heat 1. Now here for heat number 2. Your starting grid there on that inside pole position. Stephen Goldner there in the number 30 for Stephen Goldner Racing. Ted York for Team SSR Elite. starting out there on the outside pole, and at number 09. On that inside line, Jesse Atkinson in the 127 with Joseph Grandy, who is outside in the 518 for RTB, RMDB Sim Sports. There, row number 3 on that inside lane, Jeff Barker in the 513 for Can-Am Racing, and Stephen Goldner's Racing, Barry Goldner in the number 36, rounding out your field. Here they work off turn number 4 one more time around. Here before they take the green flag for the Renegades. Decent field here tonight. I think we'll have another heat after this if I looked at everything correctly. Ted York starts out there in second on that high side. The 127 there of Jesse Atkinson taking that invert to his favor. As they invert the front 4 here at Coast to Coast. Down off the corner. Atkinson's down and away. Ted York playing catch up here in the corner number 1. Jeff Barker down here on the inside. Great start by him. He gets under Ted York. Barker now up there into second. Out here through turn 3 and 4. Ted York's third. Randy there fourth. As they work there off turn number 2. Barker working down there on that inside line through 1 and 2. Now here through the middle on 3 and 4. Trying to get up there to Atkins. Atkins putting down some decent times right now out there in front. And it's tough sometimes being out there in front. You just got to make sure that you're running your race, as you don't want to really have problems. And scoop things up, and he works there through 1 and 2. Ted York falls to third. Barker's out there in second. Goldner now there in a fourth. Granny falls back in the fifth. Okay, see some moving going on there. Barker's up there in the second. Atkinson, great job out there in the front. And Ted York there third. Goldner there in fourth. Off through turn 3 and 4 they go. Atkinson out there in front. Barker there in second. Ted York there third. Goldner there in fourth. As Brandy works underneath them there off of 2. 2 laps to go here in heat number 2. They work on out of turn number 3 and 4. Atkinson out there in the front, putting down great times right now. Using that invert to his advantage as they work there off turn number 4. Turn number 2 down that backstretch here through 3 and 4. Off corner number 4, here he comes. Checker flag wave for Jesse Atkinson getting that win here in heat number 2. Barker gets second, Ted York there gets third. All right, here we go. Heat number 2 results. If I can get them to come up here. There we got it. Now light up moment here. There we go. Jesse Atkinson out there in front getting that win. Jeff Barker in second, Ted York third. Joseph Grandy finishes fourth there in heat number 2. Barry Goldner and Stephen Goldner rounding out your field 5th and 6th here tonight. All right, here for heat number 3, we got Isaac Bowman starting out there on pole. Driving at number 9, Randy Shreves there in the 56, starting there second. In third place, that's Dean Reynolds driving at number 79. Patrick Spangler there in a fourth. The 078 of Jack Clevenger rolls off there in fifth, but Jack hit rolling off 6th here tonight in heat number 3. Here we go. Getting ready for the green flag here tonight. 8 laps the distance, as they roll it on out of here. Side by side out there up front, the 9B of Isaac Bowman. You saw him get second last race. Wasn't quite comfortable with the car in the Rebels. We wonder if he made a couple adjustments here for your Renegades. He is out there now in that pole spot here for heat number 3 as they invert, like we said, the top 4 drivers. Here we go, down that back straightaway. Randy Shreves on that outside line, wanting to try to make sure he don't get caught sleeping out there. And Isaac Bowman will bring him here off turn number 4. Green flags in the air, and the dirt flies into turn number 1. As Bowman gets a good start down there on that bottom side, it's going to slide it through. Bring it up there to the top side there in front of Shreves. Shreves, great launch down that back straightaway. Man, oh man, as he brings it on down through there, that was a whole shot down that back straightaway. As they're now side by side behind him, and Spangler now up there in the 3rd spot, up there on that hop side. As he's got Dean Reynolds working there below him. Off through 3 and 4. Reynolds down there on the bottom side. Can't quite get there. As now Hook jumps back up there in front of the 078 of Clevenger. Shreves there in the front. Clevenger, your winner from last race, sitting here in 6th. A little slower here in the Renegades, as this is a little bit higher division. Working down here off turn 1 and 2. Shreves out front. Spangler trying to get up there into that 2nd spot, or get up there into the lead. He's up there around the top side. Down here through into 1 and 2. Spangler there 2nd. Bowman there 3rd. Clevenger now got some up there in the 4th, but falls back. And oh no, he tangled there with Dean a moment as they straighten it out down there through. And Jack hit off the back of turn 4. That's going to end his heat race there. 3 laps to go for Randy Shreves. Patrick Spangler, Isaac Bowman as they work there off turn number 2. Turn number 4 down there through 1 and 2. 2 laps left. Spangler, Bowman, Reynolds, Shreves still leads the way. And he comes out, going to grab that white flag here in heat number 3. And they come here out of turn number 2. Shreves taking that line. Here comes Spangler. Can he make anything happen down here through 3 and 4? He's going to try to slide it in there. Can't quite get there to get it hooked up. And off turn number 4, it is going to be Randy Shreves getting the victory here in heat number 3. Patrick Spangler there in 2nd. Bowman there gets 3rd. As we wait on the official results here out of heat number 3 to come live here. Here we go. Heat number 3 results are here. Here we go. Randy Shreves getting that win. Patrick Spangler 2nd. Isaac Bowman 3rd. Jack Clevenger there 4th. Dean Reynolds there 5th. Jack hit in 6th. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. More racing coming up after this.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, a few seconds remain here in warm-ups for the 360 Renegades. Brought to you by Just Racing Boy Designs. Patrick Spangler out there trying to get some things handled there. We are on board there with Atkinson. Atkinson had a great run there in his heat race. And you got Grandy there out there in third. Fastest right now. Your times here in warm-ups are as follows. There, you can take a look real fast before they end here, as they do. Coming there out of turn 4, Spangler with a 13.485. Fastest one in warm-ups. We'll see how that'll grant them here coming into your main event here as they get set to roll. Come on now, do what I need you to do. Here we go, your starting grid. Out there on pole, Chad into number 11, starting out there on pole. Jesse Atkinson starting second in that 127. Randy Shreves, winner of heat number 3, will roll off there in third tonight. And driving at number 56, Jesse Bandy rolls off in fourth in at number 49. Jeff Barger for Can-Am Racing starts there in a fifth, inside row number 3, in the number 513. Patrick Spangler there in the 39. Rolls off in third. There in the fourth row on that inside line, the 99 at Gavin Chatham. Ted York there in 8th, driving at number 09. And then back there in a fifth, the 9 there of Isaac Bowman. Starting in position 9. Bob the Good starts his outside of row number 5. There, driving at number 7 for Can-Am Racing in that 10th position. Row number 6, inside line, goes to RTB, RMDB, Sim Sports, Joseph Grandy, driving a 518, starting in 11th. On his outside there in 12, Jack Clevenger in the 078. Row number 7, Brennan Lacey, starts there in the number 14, in that 13th spot. And for the 14th spot, going to the 36 of Stephen Goldner Racing, Barry Goldner. Dean Reynolds in the number 79 rolls off there in 15th position for Super Dirt Car Series Full Throttle Motorsports. Down there on the inside of row number 8 to his outside, Tom Alex Jr. in the 034 for Bloodline Sim Sports. Inside, row number 9, driving to number 30 for Stephen Goldner Racing, and Stephen Goldner himself driving there in the 17th position. Jack Kitt will start to his outside there in 18th in number 217. Anthony Morano starting there in the back in the number 32. Hey, watch them come here off turn number 4. They're down and away. 30 laps, or 35 laps of distance here for the Renegades. As they work there off of corner number 1. Atkinson doing a great job getting out there in front. Cutting there in front of Cole Cody as he works there off. And oh no! We got one off track. That is going to be the 49 of Jesse Bandy getting off the backside there. Trying to get it fired back underway there off turn number 4. Caution is out. And we also have a couple others here involved in some scuffles. Jack Hitt and John Clemaux Jr. Now we'll take a look here down in the corner number 1. They watch as they work there through. 3 wide coming there off the corner. Morano ends up just getting a little bit of toe tap there and up off the top side. Nothing too major there. You see Clemaux Jr., Jesse Bandy there as well, all off the top side of turn number 3 and 4. Now on the pole, instant replay here tonight, here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Fleeker Farm TV, here bringing you on the pole from Lernerville this evening. Our final race of the night here. Your Just Racing Boy Designs Renegades 360s, bringing it on down the backstretch. On the outside there, you see Atkinson, Randy Shreves there in third. Chad Cody there on that pole position. But Chassie Atkins starting there on the outside. Had a great job starting on the outside there on the initial start of the race. We'll see if he does it again down here through in the 1 and 2. Lights are out. Going to be going back. Green flag racing. Spangler back here in the pit, there beside the 99 of Chatham. In front of them, it's Jeff Barker and Randy Shreves. Coming here off turn number 4, they go. Now they head on out there in the 1 and 2. On that outside lane, Atkinson now back out there to the front once again as Chad takes to the outside. Barker there on the bottom, and they roll there through 3 and 4. Everybody looks clear. Here comes Chatham up there on that outside lane, getting around the 9B of Isaac Coleman. Barker out there in second on that bottom side, getting around Chad on that lower side. I just see that 39 Spangler working off. And Dean Reynolds having issues there as he goes off turn 3 and 4, getting it back underway. Down there through 1 and 2. Barker through 3 and 4. We watch him come through off of turn 4. Lots of action here tonight at the action track. Up there on that top side, Chad trying to gain his position back as Spangler gets himself up there in the third on that outside lane. Really close to that cushion there on turn 4. Now he working it back off through 1 and 2. Getting to the outside now of Barker. As Barker now tries to hang on there through 3 and 4. But look at that momentum there off of Spangler. Spangler's up there on the top side up against the rail of that outside wall down there off turn number 2. Side by side with Barker through 3 and 4 as he will carry that momentum here through 3 and 4. Got a pull side by side there across the line. And here they go through 1 and 2 once again. Great run down that back straightaway. Here's Spangler gets ahead of Barker. As Barker now tries to sling it in there. And oh boy, we got problems. Back here off the top of 1 and 2. Randy involved. Goldner involved. Bob the Good involved. Take a look at the on the pole instant replay here for caution number 2 as they work there through turn 1. We watch the camera through now to turn number 4 down that front straightaway. And you see them get collected up there on that outside. And then here you see Goldner getting collected there. Bob the Good, as we saw, get collected there on the front stretch. There you watch them there through turn 3 and 4, running real tight. The 7 there on that middle line. Comes up the track and just gets involved there with the 49 of Bandy. Bandy going around and trying to see who else might have got 36 of Goldner. Barry Goldner trying just to hang on to stuff there. Bobby Good getting tangled up there. There you see Randy Shreves back here at the back. We get ready to go back green flag racing. I see them sitting there on the pit exit, waiting to come back off. Great racing up front here tonight so far. Spangler sitting there for it. Cody there in third. Or I'm sorry, fourth. Patrick Spangler's there third. Barker is up there second. Atkinson down there on the inside. Going to take a little bit different approach here to this restart here. Atkinson starts there on the inside. Lights are out. We're going to be going back. Green flag racing. Here, after they go back, we'll see how many laps are left here out of the 35 that were set to be here tonight. Tonight's championship here. In the Renegades, it is Patrick Spangler leading the points with 612. Jesse Atkinson there with 603. Anthony Morano with 523. And Gavin Chatham with 408. And Ken York with 476. See how it plays out here throughout the championship week as they roll down that backstretch. The 39 Spangler up there on that outside. Barker now down to the middle there. As you saw, Chatham down there, and we got a caution already. Randy and Goldner getting together. That is Stephen Goldner getting together with Chatham. Looking here on this restart. As Chatham, or I'm sorry, not Chatham, Randy. Sorry, Randy down there on the inside. Going to slide it on in there. And look out, oh, he gets his front end picked up by the 9B. And just nowhere for Goldner to go. Goldner going up and over off of the wheel of Grandy. There's nowhere to go after Grandy gets his front end picked up there by the 9B of Isaac Bowman. As Bowman takes a jump to the inside there. Up and over the on the pole instant replay. Now you see Grandy coming back out on track. Goldner back out there as well. Got his wing put back on. Yes, we got the third caution of the night. Atkinson, your leader. Goldner at the pit exit, coming out. Light's gonna go out this time, I believe. Single file restart. Atkinson really probably enjoying this as he's out there in front. Barker there second, Spangler in third, Chatham fourth, Chad Cody, Jack Aaron fifth. Started on pole and now sits fifth position out of Canada. Working there off turn number 4, here they go. Down across the front stripe into corner number 1, they let the dirt fly. As Jesse Atkinson's there on the bottom side, Barker there in second. Patrick Spangler there in a third, getting that top side once again. Up there on the top, works it around on the outside of Barker. Barker's going to lose 1, maybe 2 spots, as Chatham works up there on that top line as well. Spangler sets his sights on Atkinson. Atkinson's got to really be paying attention now as they work there off of corner number 4. Down here on the bottom side, we got a couple of them working really hard. Here is Andy Morano there through off a turn of 4. Started back here at the back in 19th position tonight. Got himself up here into 8th as they work that top side. Got to make sure you don't step off of that top side. As you see Ted York working there behind him. Brandon Lacey down there on that bottom side in the number 14, hanging his own. Down there trying to make sure everything works well for him. Gavin Chatham up there on that outside lane. Barker falls back now as he's now fighting there for that position. Isaac Bowman off track there in turn number 4, bringing out the caution. There you watch him up there, and that's what we're talking about. Just getting a little bit up, a little high on that cushion, just enough to just step it out there. There you see that back wheel just drops off, and around he goes, and up into that outside wall. Luckily, doesn't look like too much damage here. As you'll watch that pace car roll out. Yeah, he'll get back, caught back up to the field here. Spangler out there in second. Now, here comes Atkinson. Atkinson's really got to play this group here. As he's starting on, he started on both lanes here. Which lane is he going to start? Is he going to choose the outside lane to try to get a little bit more of a jump over top of Spangler, or is he going to start there on the inside and slide it on up there? No, and Spangler has a real good car up there on that outside lane. It's going to come down to this restart, I believe, depending on how Atkinson can hold it off. Atkinson's done a great job so far tonight, driving that big Panther number 127. Haley Spangler sitting there second. Single file restart, I believe, is what they might be going with. So that might help Atkinson out a little bit. And they work there off. Great looking machines out there tonight. As you watch Chatham there in third, worked his way up there. Great job. Jeff Barker sitting there fourth. Lacey's there in fifth, up 8th position. Andy Morano, great run by him tonight. Here they come off a turn 4. They're down and away. Spangler sitting there second. Atkinson out there in the lead. Now Spangler looks to that top side, getting the fight he wants off that back straightaway. Here through turn 3 and 4, hanging it up there on that top shelf. Atkinson really trying to hang on to what they have out there. Running just a little lower, but still hanging on just the same. As Spangler's there in second, Barker's third. Lacey's now up there in the 4th, working that bottom side as they work there off a turn 4. Falls back there now into about 5th. Chatham works there above him. Coming down that back straightaway. Spangler battling hard up there on the top side. Has to try to step out of it. Atkinson pushed him up a little bit there. Coming off turn number 4. We got 17 laps to go here at Lernerville. To end your race night as you watch them through turn 3 and 4. Shreve's having issues there off the bottom, and same with Bowman. And Bowman is down there off the track, down there below 1 and 2. And Atkinson and them coming around. Bowman's just going to call it and take it to the pits. As he's off the racing surface, no caution there. As Spangler tries to get up there to battle Atkinson now into the outside front wall as he works there off turn number 2. Had to check up there from Patrick Spangler so he didn't get too out of sorts as they rolled through 3 and 4. There one down there, Clevenger now in the pits. Atkinson sitting there in second. Had a great run there off the corner. Spangler now down there on the inside as a 3 wide back here. Morano trying to work his way through the field. 4 wide! Off of turn 2. Morano, second car from the top. I just say Chad Cody on that outside lane, making it work. Getting through there on that 4 wide. Now they're 3 wide coming here through in the 1 and 2. Morano still trying to work that middle of the racetrack. 12 laps to go as Spangler now is out front. As you see, oh no, Atkinson still battling hard out there for that lead. There you see Parker on that back side, working there off the corner. Lacey still hanging in tough with the big dogs here in the Renegades down there through turn 3 and 4. Spangler up there on top once again through turn 1 and 2. Spangler credited with that lap, I believe, as they work there out on turn number 2. Spangler getting the run there. Atkinson looking down below here, coming off turn number 4. Spangler gets the lead there, definitely off that turn. And now Atkinson there in the second. Parker in third. Morano sitting here in for it. Caution is out. Jack Hitt having issues here in the 217. Looks like Jack Hitt was all by himself. We'll see if that's the case here. And you watch him roll off turn 2. Most likely it might be through 3 and 4 once again. And watch him up there, and they will just step it up there just a little bit. And up off the outside. And oh man, the 09 of Ted York might have caught a small piece of that. Yeah, Jack Hitt was upside down there on the front straightaway. Spangler now as your race leader. Atkinson, great job there in second. Barker there third. Chad Cody there in fourth. Morano there fifth. Brandon Lacey in sixth. Gavin Chatham there in seventh. Stephen Goldner there in eighth. Clem Alex Jr. in ninth. Dean Reynolds rounds out your top 10. Stay in single file for this restart. These drivers doing everything he can to hang it on that top cushion without sending them over that top side. Down that back straightaway, lights are out. Pace car is gonna pull off. We're going to go back green flag racing after our 5th caution here tonight with your JRB Designs Renegade 360. And there they go, getting the start there off turn number 4. They're down and away. Here we go. 8 laps to go as they head off here through turn number 2. And oh no! Spangler had such a great run going. That's going to hand the lead back over to Atkinson. Parker there in second. Lacey there third. As you see, Spangler ends up clear back there in the 9th. With 7 laps to go, Atkinson now leading the way. Lacey there in second. Jeff Baker there in third. Chad Cody up there on that outside lane. And that's just how quickly things can go from having a good night. Oh no, that is not what we wanted to do. As that outside lane is that thin. Lacey, great job up here in the second in the Renegades. As they roll there on the bottom off turn number 3 and 4. Atkinson trying to do everything he can to keep hold of this lead all over the racetrack. Here with 5 laps, now 4 laps to go, as Lacey works that bottom side. That bottom side starting to really come in there. As you watch Morano up on that top side. Parker rolling about the middle. Steve Goldner down there on the bottom. Lacey there looking to the inside of Atkinson off turn number 4. Atkinson trying to get the grip, does. Here with 3 laps to go now there in the corner number 1 and 2. Yeah, getting stuck in the pits there after his unfortunate mishap. And look at Lacey rolling there on the bottom side off turn 3 and 4. Atkinson trying to figure out what lane they want to try to bring it home. 2 laps to go. Here comes Atkinson on that outside lane. Lacey out there in the front as they roll there off turn number 4. Brandon Lacey gets the win here tonight. Well, no, I'm sorry, final lap here. I'm a little premature. 1 lap to go. Atkinson on the outside there trying to find something. Morano now gets up there in the 3rd spot as Lacey works there off the bottom. Great job here by Brennan as he gets the win here at Lernerville tonight. Bringing Atkinson there in the 2nd. Goldner there in the 3rd. Over top of Anthony Morano. Man, oh man. Spangler bringing it back in the 6th. After dipping it off the outside. We'll get your unofficial results, or your official results here as they come in. Man, oh man, what a night of racing from Lernerville tonight. Brennan Lacey coming up through the field, getting that win there in tonight at Lernerville. Jesse Atkinson getting 2nd. Stephen Goldner there in 3rd. Anthony Morano gets 4th. Gavin Chatham 5th. Patrick Spangler there 6th. Jeff Parker 7th. John Lamaux Jr. there in 8th. Dean Reynolds 9th. Joseph Grandy there in 10th. Ted York 11th. Bob the Good finishes tonight in 12th with Jesse Bandy there in 13th. Randy Shreves gets 14th. Barry Goldner in 15th. Chad Cody there in 16th. Jack Hitt in 17th. There in 18th tonight. That is going to be the likes of Jack Levenger with Isaac Bowman there in 19th. Tough break for some of these drivers. And another night of great racing as we saw up there through the top of the field. Man, oh man, big movers through the field tonight to get on the podium. Brennan Lacey up 12 spots. Stephen Goldner up 14 spots. And that holds true. Hopefully it does. We get with our get here with our winners. We got Steve Goldner. Good evening here, Stephen. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
It's going really well. Man, oh man, what a race here at Lernerville it's been tonight.
Yeah, it was, we started off a little struggling, and, you know, we got the car rolling there for the end, and we came home with a podium, which is, you know, something we strive for every week and don't really get there very often, so I'm happy to be up here chatting to you.
Well, you did a great job bringing that car up through the field and getting 3rd place here tonight. Lernerville didn't disappoint tonight for sure. I mean, it was racy all night long, and it just seemed like it continued on here through the Renegades.
Yeah, it's nice to race on a track that you can race kind of 2 crews, right? The leader, Lacey, and myself are both on the bottom, and then the majority of the guys are up top. But, you know, you come here, it always puts on a good show. As long as you can keep her on track, you usually come out here pretty good.
That's the key here, is keeping it on the track.
Yeah, for sure. I struggle a little bit. It's been a while since I've been here, so I struggle a little bit in practice to keep it on track. But you know, it's pretty easy to keep it on track when you don't go up there. So that's kind of what we stuck with, and it paid off big for us.
Alrighty, and that bottom side came in nice there late in the going to really help you get up through the field too, it seemed.
Yeah, we got an incident pretty early in the race, and I thought our night was kind of over, but the bottom kind of worked out good. We got rolling it pretty good. I wish I stayed calm a little bit, but I got up to 3rd. We're racing to 3rd kind of deal, racing for 2nd, and kind of got impatient around the bottom. I just was getting on the gas too hard, kind of carrying too much speed, and it was really the middle part of the race. I was really just rolling around there pretty nice, and it was working real well. I thought I might have had something for those 2 guys up front, but you know, we'll try again next time over.
Well, you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody want to thank for getting 3rd place tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank Moon and Talico, Moon Racing Engines, Stephen Golden Racing, Arcade Automotive, SGR Shop Technology, Moon and Lacey, my dad, for always racing with us on Monday nights with Coast to Coast Racing Leagues. Just Racing Boys Designs for the title sponsor for the division. You know, it's great having those guys on board and helping out the league.
Alrighty, well, great job there, Goldner, and man, oh man, it was a great night, and hopefully we'll see you back next season.
Yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry, we'll be here.
Alrighty, have a great night, and have a good week off next week.
Thank you.
All right, that was Stephen Goldner, our third place. Now we'll get with Atkinson. Good evening there, Atkinson. How's it going?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
It's going well, man. That was some race out there tonight.
Oh yeah, we tried to, put on the miracle here at Lernerville. We know we had to beat Patrick by a bit. Unfortunately, beat me by 2 points. He sent me the photo. I saw the scores. But we put everything out there. We didn't leave anything left off the table. And the middle of the race was Spengler there, just defending. That was some pretty good racing through a few blocks that I normally would have. But when you're racing for a championship here, that's all you got to do. And then with 7 laps to go, I was telling my spotter that we've done all we can. He told me we've done all we can, but there's still 7 laps here, and right in the green flag. That's when we watch Spengler kind of go off the edge there, and we thought we had it secured. We thought Spengler had an instant point there. But at the end of the day, we did all we could here this whole season. We had our ups, our downs, and we're glad to be walking home with the second place here and in the points.
Well, great job, and you had a great night of racing all through the night here at Lernerville. In the 360 Renegades, and the Pink Panther looked really good out there in the front, and just unfortunate, it looked like that bottom side came in there at the end of it.
Yeah, I saw when Spengler went over, I kind of looked back and saw Lacey there, and I know he's always really good around here on the bottom. I couldn't get my car down there and wound up enough to get a good exit off the corner to make it viable, so I just kind of had to run my line. He drove past me. If we would have kept the first place there, we might be talking a little different here, but it is what it is. We did our best here in the Pink Panther machine. Finally brought it home across the finish line, not wrecked, which was nice, and just a great way to end out the season.
Alrighty, well, great job there tonight, and you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody we want to thank for getting second place tonight?
Yes, sir. I think Adria Esports, all the guys over there. I got to thank Brady Floyd for being my spotter this season. He's provided me with some invaluable information all throughout the season, which has consistently led us to the top of the points here. So, got to thank him for all he's done for me. Got to thank Workload Media for being in the car. Thank Coast to Coast for putting on all these awesome races, and thank you for the awesome broadcast.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, Jesse, and hopefully we'll see you back next season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was Jesse Atkinson, your second place here, giving it one heck of a run. And then here we go with Brennan Lacey. Good evening there, Brennan. How's it going?
Good, man. Good.
Well, you started 13th, if my scoreboard's correct. Drove it up there to the front. Man, take us through. What'd you think of the bottom side of that racetrack coming in late tonight?
Yeah, anybody that kind of knows us and Stephen Golden Racing knows that the bottom's where we like to be. Is where we make our most moves at, and luckily this is one of those tracks that a lot of guys can't run it down there. And Blake Chapman, he's not here, off at schooling and stuff like that, but he's just as good as we are down there, and that's kind of where we make it happen. Is nobody else can run where we can down there, and as you can see late in the run, it really helped with tires because we had a lot of tire tread left, for those guys were burning it off up top.
Well, and I know, like, for me, I can sometimes win it off the bottom. I know I did it one time in the 305 officials here at Lernerville. Got my first win in the 305 actually doing it that way.
Yeah, the bottom, it stays hooked up. You got to watch the ditch, because if you get in there, it will mess a car up pretty hard. But there for a little bit, I was overdriving one, and then Goldner got kind of to me there, and he was like, hey, just let it roll around instead of trying to force it in there, and that made all the difference there.
Alrighty, well, great job getting that win. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting that victory tonight?
Yeah, shout out to Stephen Goldner Racing as always. I appreciate him crew chiefing each week and running against it. Glad he could kind of climb his way back up after that wreck earlier to third there. So real big to see that. Good finish of the season here, and we'll see what happens here next season.
Alrighty, well, hopefully you'll be back for next season, and great job out there getting that win tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, have a great night there, Brennan, and enjoy the victory as you can. All right, that is going to wrap it up here tonight from Lernerville. Thank you all who tuned in to either Fleeger Farm TV or Coast to Coast Racing Network for this episode of On the Pole. I am your host, Alan Fleeger. Going to be signing off. Thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great night. We'll be back with Coast to Coast Racing Network once again on Wednesday night for your Hometown Heroes Championship nights. Thank you all, and have yourself a great, great night.
Yeah.